how J-Team have been playing. And it's interesting to see that this time around, it is going to be about influencing that bottom lane, get the snowball going. Otherwise, J-Team, as Clement just said, will run out of steam as we welcome you into the start of our second round. J-Team versus CTBC Flying Oyster. These two are second and third seed alike. They'll move into the semifinals into round 4 with a win here, waiting for the winner of PSG versus DCG. PCS is so competitive this split. If you're just tuning in, I think you're tuning into one of the most exciting splits that I have seen, both as a spectator and now, thankfully, as a caster. Clement, it has just been such a good talent split. Like, individual players have risen to new highs.
Yeah, we did have the, sort of dethroning of Beyond Gaming, and that opened up the way to the 3 J teams to kind of take over. So we have a really good split. Exactly. The JT multiverse. There's so many good teams right now. It's a situation where we've moved away from 2 teams dominating the league to I think we have 5 potential teams that could come up and win the championship. Now, to go a little bit more into the game setup right here, we have pretty standard builds across the board. Not seeing too aggressive on the Zoe, just going with the much more popular spell book. And if you look at the side of J-Team, we have for Enzo, a very clear just kind of poke siege composition. They know that they have to make this bottom lane work. They're not going to be going for the Guardians to save lane. It's all out or nothing.
True, the comment coming through from Enzo. Nice catch. Even alongside start here from Lil V. And it's through the lane setup already that they're like, yep, let's build that bridge. Dredge line dodged away from, and J-Team already getting the health bars down nice and low. So I guess, Clement, if you're a J-Team fan, that's exactly how you want to start your level 1 lane.
It definitely is. The one thing to mention here is that you see a lot of these rotations. The most important thing for the Karma is you really want to get your mantra Qs onto the backline minions as well, so that will help you push quite a bit. You take out most of the damage from the wave with that. So the positioning from Shun and Koala here, they know that they're going to have to take that first salvo anyway, but at least they're keeping their backline minions alive until now.
And the root comes in. It's a good little trade here from J-Team once again. Enzo is aggressive as hell. Not really caring about the dredge line as the timer goes down. They'll hit level 2, and it continues to run like clockwork. Now, Clement, we also have to account for the junglers into this lane, as we will be talking about bot quite a lot. Kongyue has started with a topside path leading all the way down, but Gemini is matching.
Yeah, we do have, I think, just full clears from both sides. I don't expect Gemini to actually try and gank this lane on level 3 as a Nocturne. It's a little bit too difficult to pull off, and the HPs are very unfavorable for him. The way I'm seeing this game go is that we do have to be very mindful of the potential for Paranoia to actually cancel out Destiny Gate. So what can happen is Uniboy might try to increase the push or get a gank on the bot lane. He might pop the Destiny, but fail to get the gate off, because Paranoia could just take away Vision, and that just cancels out Twisted Fate. So that's a very possible thing to look forward to into the mid game.
That's a great point, Clement. I mean, again, Uniboy, he picked this after the Nocturne, and again, we knew it was about influencing the bottom lane. As Kongyue goes for a cheeky little invade, misses Vision ever so slightly. A bit unfortunate, and I think Pink still went down, but nevertheless, Kongyue not going to have a full understanding as camera returns to where it needs to be. That's Ignite down! Oh my god! Clement J-Team style in a quick 2v2.
I can't believe Enzo actually managed to get the tether off. He was able to lock Koala in place before the flash came in, and I felt like Koala just kind of played that a little bit haphazardly. He was just assuming that he wouldn't die and got full punish for it.
Has flash. Ignite was still available, but not worth mentioning. Heal used by Shun. It definitely is, though. So, summoner for summoner trade, but the first blood going over to Enzo. J-Team's condition on the board. And already we have a noon quiver coming in from Lil V too, so this is a great start when it's such a narrow window that J-Team have to play through.
Yeah, I feel like if J-Team does not take the first brick gold in bot lane, it's over. Like, that's how narrow their win condition actually is. So they have to play super contested for it. And you can also tell that Gemini knows his win condition as well. He's just trying to force level 6 as soon as possible. He's just full clearing the entire way, and just trying to split the scuttle that way. And I think we're quickly arriving to that point where Uniboy, he's going to have his Destiny Gate online, but so will Gemini with the Paranoia. Ooh, gank at top lane.
Let's pause in top lane. Yeah, Sonic Wave actually connects as well. Rest flashes away, but it's matched. Kongyue wants to slow him down. The red buff will help out. Drivers right there. J-Team in both sides of the map are taking it.
Yeah, beautiful gank coming through the lane right there. If you look at the river, CFO had a lot of vision committed to rest, making sure that he could just push that lane, but J-Team still catch him out with Gemini coming through the lane itself. That's always very difficult to anticipate for the laners right there, and caught him mid-trade as well.
It's a big deal considering Pickaxe was just picked up, and Kongyue, even pre-6, has gotten himself onto the map. So for J-Team, bit over a 1k gold lead at this point. And Clem, we'll have a quick look at the replay because it was a nice time game.
Yeah, very nicely done. Rest goes in for the trade. I'm a little bit dubious about that flash. I felt like that was an incredibly short flash to pull off. He was a dead man anyway. But he does trade 2 flashes for 1. So they are up technically 1 flash if it does come into effect when Paranoia comes through.
Yeah, good math. I'll take that. Paranoia is almost up and available further to that point. Gemini, you said, was racing for this, but look, the map is burning. Before this Nocturne even gets level 6, we have to pull out that this map is crashing very fast. J-Team are keeping on with this tempo. Kongyue now focusing around the bottom side, and it continues to be a map state that is just so favorable. Look at this. Koala again taking trades. Kongyue now spotted. And Clement, it still belongs to the J-Team side in the first 15 minutes.
Yeah, it definitely does. And I'll be honest, this is to be expected somewhat. I think that, you know, with the bot lane push, it just frees up a lot more control on the bottom side. We've seen Kongyue poking into CFL's jungle multiple times, and now they're going to try and, search for a 3v2 if it does happen. Gemini not going to show himself. In fact, he's been doing a lot of leeching here in the mid lane. This is a rather interesting strategy. I think his calculation was he wanted to leech to 6 before he went back towards the top side, so he could actually defend the bot. But now with the back happening with Shun and Koala, he's like, okay, I don't need to leech that much. I could just go for the top side now and try to hit 6.
But he will be spotted out. I mean, Driver's coming over with a ward at the ready. Puts it a bit shallow. I'm not sure. Blue buff's already past the wall, so Gemini won't get spotted out here. And Clement with the leeching news. He's pretty close to getting level 6. Kongyue is going to be starting up the dragon here. And one more camp means Gemini will finally be on the map. And Clement, we'll get to see what CFO can do, because, again, stopping the bleeding. You mentioned the expected result of J-Team's early game here. But the Nocturne coming in from CFO has a lot of uses. And you were talking about the opportunistic windows that CFO have to play through in this first game.
Yeah, there's a lot of different ways they can utilize this gank potential coming in from Mission. He can pick up extra summoners. You know, there are a lot of different boost ups that the Zoe could take. You could take the rocket belts. You could take even the Shirelia's Reverie just off the ground. It suddenly appear in the bottom side. So I feel like the next couple of minutes, J-Team is going to have a much harder time trying to shove in onto this bot lane. And I do like this idea that they're showing right here. J-Team are like, okay, if we actually just try to do a 2-man push in bot lane, it's probably too risky. So how about we just do a quick recall into a potential Herald. I think that might be a smarter strategy to continue the siege rather than playing up against Zoe that is lane control plus the Nocturne.
True. Level 6 for Gemini now picked up. Gemini going to be starting up the Herald, so a good little tempo play here from CFO to potentially deny that. Remember, resets haven't come through. And right now, J-Team are outnumbered if they walk in.
And it looks like J-Team are just going to let this go, instead trying to all in onto the bottom side with the 1v2. Koala actually caught off of rotation right here. He was trying to join the top side, but then realized, wait a minute, this they're not actually not roaming here. So in some senses, J-Team can be pretty happy with this result. They take another plate in the bottom side. They force Shun to stay away from EXP range. And, the Herald, I think it's most likely going to get dropped mid, but it's going to be a while until they can transition pressure into the bot side again.
Especially with Kongyue nearby. Look at this. Gank path imminent. Or at very least helping push out the wave. Uniboy has Destiny as well, worth mentioning. So we always know that the paranoia interaction you talked about earlier could be coming through. But coming back to what you were just talking about, J-Team with all-inning bot were able to pick up another piece of turret plating. Almost a second. And you did put a timer on this saying that this bottom lane needs to be cracked. It needs to be first brick. It needs to be all turret platings taken down. Lil V is half the way there with Kongyue still hovering, Clement. So walk me through the next couple of minutes and how J-Team need to bring the pace against a team that has Rift Herald, against a team that still has a response with now Nocturne ulti being up and available.
So I think CFO are just going to try and go for the juggler right here. You can see that J-Team placed a lot of wards inside the blue side jungle, but it doesn't really matter for Nocturne. Like, he can always lane gank anyway, and he does have the Herald. So if they get just one killing gank off in the bottom lane, they erase all of J-Team's leads instantly. You get the double charge onto Shin, the Jinx gets excited, you're most likely going to get first brick off of that if it does succeed. So we know what the most high value play is on the map. And the question right now, I think, is for J-Team to see how they actually react to it. I expect Lee Sin to be heading bot lane once more to sync up his movement with his bot lane push, and at least try to take control of not only the jungle, he also needs to get ward behind the tower to make sure the push can continue.
True, catch out Koala, who a couple of times, you mentioned his position. He's been pretty detrimental coming through. He's now roaming up towards the mid lane. Now for CFO, that Herald usage, whether it's bot, whether it's mid, is coming through pretty shortly, and Gemini's going to drop it here. Mission has priority once again, and this should be a couple of plates sent over. And Kongyu are now being zoned out by Koala, so Mission going to share in the spoils of war here. Nice pot of gold from CFO. Catch back up in this early game and give Mission the priority that he deserves as one of the best mid laners in the league.
Oh, this Twisted Fate has just not been able to do anything.
Hasn't been able to leave.
It's kind of... I really think that CFO outdrafted by taking away the LeBlanc and then picking the Zoe themselves. That was such an incredible move. It just cut off all the tempo picks that J-Team had available, and I feel like J-Team just kind of forgot the interactions with Nocturne. As a Twisted Fate, because you lack so much damage in the late game, you have to make your early game work, and right now it's 12 minutes into the game, and we haven't seen a single Destiny gate. It's just not been allowed to go through.
I mean, we haven't seen a Gemini ulti, but it doesn't matter as much, Clever. Where J-Team is so limited here. I love how you talk about draft because you were being so nice. You're like, I'm not sure I like this. Instead of saying, this is pretty rough. For J-Team, it's been corner after corner that they've been hitting through here. And what I mean by that is that they've been pushing bottom wave, but CFO, they are that corner. They always have a response here. And nice little block there from Koala. They're picking up gold in this game. It's only 1,000 lead. It's never really been more than that. As the next dragon comes up, we have pretty equal items coming through, bar maybe a little bit having a little bit of extra gold sitting with the Gale Force.
Yeah, for sure here. This is a good power spike for J-Team, so I expect them to push extremely hard on this back. But a couple things to mention here. I feel like if CFO take first tower first, even if it's in the mid lane, they just cancel out so much siege potential from J-Team. It means that J-Team are going to be completely open to flanks. You have an Aatrox coming in behind the Caitlyn with World Ender. That doesn't sound like a great setup. So I feel like J-Team, I'm going to move. I'm going to clarify their win condition. But I feel like on 2 items, they at the very least need a 6,000 gold. I'm not even kidding. It has to be that high for this game to be even close when it goes to the 30 minutes.
So they want a big old fight soon, or they want this first brick to go down again. Where's the gold coming from? Right now, it's going to be second dragon for J-Team at the very least. So moving towards dragon win condition. But Clement, you know that League of Legends is an unfair game. This will be a Cloud Soul. Ready? Oh, no, Tex deck. Wow, okay.
Save.
Saved a little bit. Saved a little bit. But still, second dragon goes down at the very least. I want to talk to you a little bit more about what we're going to see because I'm still waiting for Uniboy. I'm trying to get you to set me up for Uniboy, but there's still no ult available. He's getting 3-man mid. Rest is diving the top side. Not sure what's going on there, but it might not matter because mid has just been traded off to the turret.
We do have the first brick gold going over to J-Team, so definitely a small win right there. But as we've talked about before, this still invalidates the potential for Caitlyn to siege mid. Caitlyn right now doesn't have a lane to go towards where she can feel safe. I feel like they probably have to swap towards top lane for Caitlyn to have like a more of a short lane where she can actually hit the tower. But it's just a little bit like the lead isn't big enough to justify the draft so far. The 500 gold lead, that's pretty much nothing. And if you look at the items across the board, the first mythics are online. You don't have a massive gap where the first fight is going to be mythics versus non-mythics for J-Team's side. So if I'm looking at this, I feel like J-Team, they have to make the most use of the next Herald fight. Like, the next Herald fight has to be massive for them. They need picks, and they need to snowball.
Okay, well, next Herald is coming up in about 8 seconds. There's Destiny! Clement, we get it! Uniboy locks him down as well, and Koala might be caught out, but the interaction with Paranoia means that 2 deep now is a top laner, a J-Team driver running for the hills, the Death Rocket, big damage. Shielding as well, a great response, but Mission is here to play. The Zoe with a bit of extra range, and there's health bars that's starting to blink on J-Team as CFO make themselves known around the Herald.
Yeah, I feel like J-Team, for them, that was more of a defensive Destiny Gate into an opportunistic catch. They wanted to pop it just to make sure where the Nocturne was, get better setup, and maybe see if they could catch someone. But I feel like the catch itself was way too hard to actually make work in that situation. And right now, I feel like CFO should have much stronger potential in this team fight as they're grouped up as a 5v5 here.
I mean, look again, as J-Team get knocked up on the way in. Rest is zoning here, level 11. The Herald just taken. Clement, you said J-Team needed this Herald. They needed more momentum, and CFO just walk in and take it.
Yeah, they burned a lot of ultimates in the last fight, and here we go.
Oh, driver. Explosive cast going to be used. At least they get Koala on the way out. Okay, 1 for J-Team is a response, but there won't be anything else. Herald for the kill, as J-Team do have mid lane priority. We'll see if they can finally push down another turret.
Very nicely done by J-Team right here. I feel like CFO got a little bit greedy trying to brute force their way through the left side of River right here. They get punished for it, and they do get 1 kill back for that. So we are seeing a 600 gold lead here. But the question on my mind is always going to be, what's next? Where do you siege up next? The Herald is most likely just going to go top for CFO. They're going to take a tower here, and we'll watch this once again. Again, to point out, this is CFO already taking down the Herald. They've already won a big chunk, but they go a little bit too far for Driver. He's very tanky at this point. Did go Everfrost first, and there's also a lot of brush control just coming from the Caitlyn. So I feel like CFO got a little bit greedy with that one, but it doesn't change the overall game plan of them just being able to strip side lanes and deny siege potential from JT.
Yeah, again, Rest is taking this turret down with ease. This Aatrox too, we haven't talked much about. We saw a dive up in the top side, and it's kind of rare not to be talking about Rest in a game, Clement. I feel like some of the best of CFO games have been about Rest, have been about Mission, or maybe, Gemini comes into the mix. Like, these solo laners are so good. And this time around, it's just been a bit of a CS gap. Rest has just been playing his part against the Gragas, not being able to do much because I guess CFO didn't need to do much in this first game.
I gotta say, I actually love this Aatrox pick. You really want to pick an Aatrox when the enemy team is lacking damage. If they can't force fire you down, if they don't have multiple carries, then Aatrox just gets to survive forever. And at the very least, he gets to drag J-Team to a point where they can't go into, 3-item crit items because they have to have someone build for anti-heal. So I think it's a great pick in this situation. It fits the build that they want to play with the 4-1 strategy with Rest. Just overall, I just love it.
I mean, it was a final pick here in the draft, right? And you and I have been very draft focused in this game, and it's so rightly so. For J-Team, they're a team that we know will often play around Uniboy Kongru. Maybe not the right time to talk about it because we get a fight to see if J-Team are worth talking about in this game one. Clement, they're going to give us something here because they hover around the third dragon. CFO with great positioning. Mission is the one. He got Lil V. That's the damage on J-Team. The rocket hits him for half HP, and Rest again, you said, couldn't really get bursted out. He's at half HP, but still with the ulti. While on the backline, Koala deals with 2 people. J-Team are spread thin. Now, they may kill Koala, but look again. Mission has free roam with a Gale Force and a double kill already going to Gemini. CFO make it 2 for 1, Clement, and we're not even at the 20-minute mark.
I gotta say, I feel like J-Team just ran out of ideas on how to play that fight. They were like, what do? We can't take the 5v5 right now. We're in a power trough with Caitlyn, and CFO are bearing down on us. We can't even pop Destiny Gate before we see where the Twisted Fate, where the Nocturne actually is on the map. So they go for a 5v5 Hail Mary type of play. Their 80 dies right off the bat, and they pick up a very inconsequential kill on Koala. Like, he's already had 3 deaths. He doesn't really care if you kill him or not. So I feel like if J-Team want to do this, they need to be pushing in the bot lane and then transitioning back. They need to make sure that, CFO is coming from 2 directions and they can actually catch someone out on the other side. This was, I don't know, this was just kind of messy, and it was very low priority for Kongre and Yumi Boy to take the Nocturne kill. I mean, they do get it, but like, does it matter? I don't think so.
I was gonna say, like, what astounded me about that play is that for Little V to walk up, Clement, Mission just took a free bubble, and as soon as he gets caught, we come back to what you've been harping on, what I've been asking you the whole game. The damage source in J-Team, if it goes down, J-Team might be screwed. So, in this game, Lil V drops in the fight, and the rest is history. CFO now with the gold lead at 20 minutes in. They picked up the Dragon as well to slow down another potential win condition here for JT. And Clement, at this point, you got to tell me, like, what JT do now that they're at a disadvantage, that they haven't been able to get off anything, that they are at 2 items, and as you said, should be at 6,000 gold lead, but they're actually at a deficit.
There's one thing I will guarantee you about the upcoming games in the series. We will never see a Twisted Fate counterpick himself into a Nocturne. Like, that's just not going to happen afterwards. This Nocturne's just has just been killing J-Team's strategy overall. And look at the Nocturne build right now. He already has the Randuin's complete to just sit on top of Caitlyn. Like, the Caitlyn, she's going to go crit, like, she doesn't have another build to go for, but she's not going to be doing anything. The Cold Steel passive is going to be impacting her, so I don't know. I don't know what J-Team really do. I feel like J-Team's best chance is, okay, we just set up Siege. We do still have a Siege poke comp. We have very good disengage with the Lee Sin and the Gragas, and we just hope that CFO fumble and engage. That's probably their best bet right now.
Okay, thank you, Clement. I took a bit, but we got it. I love how hard it was
think about that.
Yeah. Second Destinies, by the way, where's it going? Defensive again. You're right. Maybe we don't see a Twisted Fate, at least at this style, or in this style, I should say, from Uniboy again. I was going to say before we got into that fight, like, for J-Team, the J-Team we know is the Kongyue Uniboy show. And this time around, it feels like, you know, again, we've put all eggs in the bottom lane basket. The draft you talk about was so narrow, and it doesn't give Uniboy a potential to carry when he's been such a great Syndra player. Like, this is the man who, I'm just looking at the games, Clement, like, Syndra, Zoe, even the Orianna, the Ahri he's picked up 3 times. This is not a Uniboy style opening up this series.
For sure. I feel like Uniboy has to have his early game damage going in. And, you know, looking at the stats, when J-Team wins, Uniboy is dealing 600 DPM. When he loses, he's only doing 300. And I have to say, this game feels a lot closer to the later than to the former. Here we have the 2-man, though.
Yeah, we'll see what they can do. Gold card is going to be spell shielded and immediately just stops. Sonic Wave means nothing here. Gemini holding 2 members at bay while the rest of CFO are barreling down the mid lane, Clement.
Yeah, we'll see how they...
here comes Mission. On a trap, does he care? That was close. Lil V burns the heal preemptively. And Mission only just out of range, but the rest of CFO say, hey, okay, if we can't do it through mid, now we move rest down to bot, and they're just pulling J-Team so thin.
Nothing much J-Team can actually do about this. They went for a super risky play in the top side, got completely countered by Gemini and just a spell shield right off. Yep. They have no answer on the other side of the map. They essentially take half their tower HP in the mid lane and take a full tower in the bot side. So CFO are now in a very sizable lead, and it's going to get worse because CFO can split push now with Rest. He's going to be able to stay alive even against Kongyue and Uniboy. I think if those two try to take down Rest might very well just win the 1v2.
True. I mean, that's a huge CS gap, and 2.5 items strong is going to mean so much. Lil V, worth mentioning, the damage source of J-Team is getting towards his third, but again, he keeps getting hit by these bubbles, these paddle stars. He's now without his heal. Flash is available, but how quickly would that be burned? As Dragon's up, but CTBC flying Oyster, hovering on the outskirts for now with a flank coming through from the man in the top lane.
Oh, but this is a great way to catch someone out. They're going for
Clement,
Rest.
Do they have enough damage? Do they have enough damage? Gold card through, he's over the wall, but everyone from J-Team are grouping up. Look, Rest took no damage from Ace in the hole. And Driver even getting poked out by Mission. It's a slow play. But J-Team, as they walk through, have used quite a lot to get through Rest. And CFO pacing forward. It's taken here by J-Team, but CFO are coming back in. Driver not tanky enough. And here's the reset from Shun. He's exhausted, but he ain't tired yet. A dredge line from Koala. And CFO, through draft, through game, have styled on J-Team in the first game of this series.
Goodbye, Uniboy. Not able to get anything done right here, and this fight was just absolutely ridiculous from start to finish. I feel like J-Team, I don't know why they did full commit to rest right there. The paranoia went down, and I feel like they were just scared. They didn't full commit to rest at all, and when paranoia was over, there was just no chance of them even holding that position. They do get the seal onto the Drake, but they should have hightailed out of there as soon as possible. Like, there was zero chance thinking that they would win that fight after like 4 people stand there wailing on rest for that felt like at least 5 seconds, and Rest wasn't even half HP.
I mean, he took no damage in the initial engage, Clement, and then we saw it again, and Rest, like, you've been spot on with this one. You deserve a pat on the back, because Rest took so much time and so many resources from J-Team at the start of this fight.
And look at this, they were actually very hesitant on all-inning on him. They were very scared about the fact that Nocturne could just fly in. So you could tell Uniboy didn't even throw his gold card at Rest. Like, he tried to play this super slow. They're very scared about this situation, and I think this is where J-Team really overstepped. You get the objective, you gotta hightail out of here, man. You can't stay around for the after party. You're not invited to this one, and CFO just completely decimate them.
It's just nice to see, right? Even though we know this one comes down to what's been talked about all game long. The CFO played it really well. You know, Gemini here on the Nocturne hasn't really need to use his ultimate many times. Again, you talked about it as a negating tool towards J-Team, towards Uniboy. But importantly enough, the game's been going smooth for CFO, and this is what you want to see, right? Great solo lane play from Rest and Mission, Clement. Really solid mid lane, right? Mission has been great this game, making sure Uniboy could never move. CFO really know their strengths, and opening up this series, it's nice to see that translate after they stomped MFT in a similar way, right?
Yeah, I feel like this game, CFO actually brought out a lot more depth in terms of their draft, and I can't believe Koga actually did 0 damage right there. He didn't even Dragon Rage someone. 0 damage? That's actually pretty peculiar.
Yeah. I don't think he did. But I'm not sure if he died at the start of the fight. Oh, no, he hasn't died, actually. So hang on a minute. Clement, that's not what you want to see out of your jungler. But it's kind of been the story. Kind of been the story of this game.
We do have very suboptimal builds coming out from J-Team right now. We do have a Lord Dominic's regard, you know, trying to circumvent the Randuins here. But if you look across the item builds, there is a lot of armor for sure, but like it also means that your main damage dealer just isn't packing that much punch at this point for the Caitlyn. So this is kind of like a 4-item spike Caitlyn, and you can tell that she's also eyeing just for a Quicksilver Sash before that. So it looks really, really rough right now, and I'm trying to figure out how J-Team should play this, and I still feel like their best chance is to bait and engage here. CFO, not really known for their engage prowess, and this is an engage where they do have to flank, so J-Team, it sounds risky, it sounds suicidal, but they have to put themselves in harm's way and just draw CFO out so they can potentially find some better team fights. They don't actually want to walk in onto CFO in terms of a Baron fight. I don't think their team has good potential at pushing terrain.
Well, they were doing that before, but J-Team unawares until about now, thinking, all right, well, CFO is still waiting in the brush, but Baron started out. Destiny's going to be used here. Full vision as he goes to the back of the pit. Driver here with an ulti, but he gets Dredgeline in, going asleep, and as he gets tucked into bed, the Death Rocket going sly. He hits Golden, and you can see the J-Team is still on the edge of this one, but Dredgeline hits the target member. Big old Koala drop bear on top of the face of Lil V, and Rest is doing the exact opposite. This guy is woke. As Kongu heads over the wall, and J-Team is scattered to the wind. Mission missing all but none. There we go once again. It's a paddle star of the ages, and CFO can do no wrong with some class play. Once again, Kongu is the remnant of this one, and Clement, I'm not sure how much longer he has to go. The kick finally comes through, but Mission's here to save his support's life.
And this is a 40-second timer on Kongu as CFO using the teleport and looking to close out on the game sooner rather than later right here. Looks like they will turn around for the safer play. Lil V is still coming up here, but man, that was just such a spanking coming in from CFO. I think most critically was CFO just somehow gave up on Lil V. It was really weird to see, but Lil V actually just being in the front lines for a split second gives Koala that opportunity to commit the full engage. Like, before that, JT even had all the traps set up. They were moving up the ramp, but for a split second there, just nobody was covering their main AD carry.
It happened in the last fight, Clement. Remember again, into range of the sleepy trouble bubble. Like, this is the second time that Lil V has been very aggressively positioned, and Koala's laughing, Mission's laughing. I think CFO in general should be laughing with this game number one, as the gold lead's immense now. The Baron not picked up, but with the team fight, gold is just worse than before. We're positioning. We're going to have a quick replay here, Clement, because it'll beef up again.
This is a really good start of the fight to Driver. He takes a lot of cooldowns, and then he moves up the ramp. But I want to see why Little V was actually in the front line. Oh, no!
Gragas isn't fat enough.
Oh, that was so not worth it. What? Oh, man.
That's so unfortunate. Dude, if only Driver was a bigger unit, man. If only Gragas had a bigger character module than he does.
I don't think you ever walk down the ramp in that situation, though. Like, I understand the Driver could have taken that, but for me, from my perspective, that was still mainly on Little V. Getting that one headshot, definitely not worth it.
Oh man, that's it's rough to watch, but still a nice trade line here from Koala. I'll say that's perfect timing if I've ever seen one.
Very well.
We're back around the Baron though, Clement. Are you ready for round two?
I am ready as can be. Kongre already starting off a pretty low health right here. I think the key member does have to be Driver once more. He's tanky enough, he can take that first shot, and if he can find Shun with the explosive cask, that would equalize the damage differential between these two squads, but it really does have to come down to him.
Such a hard ask at this point, right? CFO, every single time J-Team have looked for one of these angles, has been negated, and now in front of the Baron once again. They've got the poke down, they force J-Team out. Baron starts, and it's going down pretty quick. J-Team moving in, and Kongyue needs a miracle still for this game one to turn back around, but Driver again reeled back in. Gemini pulling off, and Baron stopped. J-Team may have stopped it for now, but CFO still hovering around, and looks like for now it'll be stopped. It will actually be a base return, which is good for J-Team to say the least.
Yeah, really nicely done here by Driver. You know, he knows that he's the only one that can open up the map, so he's poking his head in there. He's getting a lot of good poke damage. And if you look at his build, he is going to be going for at least 2 AP items here, so that's going to be very helpful around the Baron Pit, where you do have the big purple worm shredding everyone's MR resistances. And I do like this setup from J-Team, where they're basically placing a whole line of traps, and if you try to go forward, what they can do is just explosive cask, split your formation, and focus one target that actually gets trapped on the on this Yordle trap line. So very well done here by them, but they still need to execute it. They need to pull it off to come back into the game.
Again, seems hard, but like you explained it, Driver, Lil V interaction, important to notice. Destiny's over the wall, but Paranoia used Clement. He's been found out. And as he comes out, Danny Boy just realizes he's dead. Dredgeline goes in against the wall, but doesn't matter while Rest is dealing with the rest of them. Lil V in a lot of trouble here as Driver about to get exploded. Rest flashing forward. The chase begins. And even though they get out, Koala still here with a flash, a depth charge, and Rest will begin again. Lil V running for his life. He cleanses out the dredge line, blocked by a minion. Luckily, they escape, but the rest of their team in shambles as CFO run it down the mid lane. They want this one to end now.
Yeah, CFO just charging down. 4v2 in this juncture. How long can Lil V stay alive? He's got that red buff. He's kiting back and forth, but he's severely outnumbered right here. Unfortunately for them, though, Driver is able to shake away from Gemini, so he's able to return to base, and it looks like CFO will turn around for the Baron instead.
Part 4, Clever. We've seen Baron started so many times. Uniboy without his ulti, though, and Kongyue has only just respawned, so if this one gets started up, there's going to be no jungle presence, but CFO are backing once again. So, Clement, this game going a little bit longer than I expected, but I guess CFO are just going to keep having fun because everything keeps going right for this team.
Yeah, I don't think they really mind about these scuffles right here. Now it's J-Team going for the desperation play, but this is a Hex Gate map. You can come towards the Baron Pit so quickly. Oof.
Gemini has ult. 5k. They're still burning it down. Teleport's being used. CFO need to make a move, though. They're nowhere near the pit. Paranoia is going to be burned, but they need to get on in. Gemini, for the steal, walks right in. It's not going
kick
down. He
away.
gets kicked away. The
No, he
side
still
though.
gets it.
He
What?
walks back up. J-Team didn't focus the Baron, Clement. Not enough damage. Feels like a broken record statement that we've been saying. And as the Baron gets stolen under their nose, it truly reads through when we say that nothing in game one has gone right from start to finish for JT.
Oh, this is gonna be such a massacre right here. Uniboy trying to fly away and he still gets taken down. Well, that's
Help,
the game.
Clement.
Oh boy, I gotta say this is probably the most one-sided draft diff game we have seen out of the entirety of playoffs. J-Team backed themselves into a massive corner. You could tell that they had no idea how they were supposed to take the fights in the later phase of the game because they just didn't have a win condition for it. There's no way they were supposed to win these 5v5s, and the last couple of ones, they were pretty entertaining, but I don't think in a very serious matter. Like, we saw like Uniboy flying into the back line and realizing, wait a minute, my team actually has no chase potential. They don't have damage, and I've just set myself in the middle of 4 people. In the last fight as well, you can see that, hey, they already taken down the Nocturne to 500 HP, and they still don't have the damage to kill him. The Nocturne just walks right back in and even takes the Baron. What was that?
Oh, God. It's such a sad